our first round is dedicated to professional development. So we all do change countries. We all do enter new markets again and again. We all strive to get and to build up a mobile career. It's challenging. Every single time it is challenging. There are too many aspects to it. And we have picked 4 different aspects, and I want to address them. The first one is, Nadja, you say it's a big topic, you and the job market. The approaching of this new job market, it's a big thing. And you have worked out what does it take actually not to get overwhelmed. You work out what does it take to get ready to enable yourself to start looking at this. Can you please just talk a little bit about like what are the elements actually of being able to look at the new job market? How do you start doing this? This is what you want to teach in your course, right?
Yes. Hello, everyone. Hello to everyone. My name is Nadja, and I'm super delighted to have you on board. Thank you for joining us. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to give you a quick sneak peek of my upcoming webinar. I'm holding the webinar on the 24th of March, and it's called You and the Job Market, How to Kickstart Your Own Individual Action Plan. And now with also the speakers right before me, this expat life is challenging, exciting yet challenging. And also the job searching process oftentimes can be very comprehensive, sometimes overwhelming, and let alone being an accompanying spouse or also international professional. Hence, the webinar will kind of give you guidelines how to tackle questions, set up your own action plan, and also minimize that headache with having a step-by-step routine to set it up personally for yourself. And this webinar is actually going to help you to understand that process even way before starting to apply. So the first part of the webinar will be what do you really want and why? So we are going to work on a decision matrix. I'll provide the decision matrix template before the webinar, and we are going to really touch quite a few topics about what is your real motivation, maybe underlying assumptions, also what are your real priorities when it comes to the topic of work. This could be, for example, purpose versus salary versus part-time versus work-life balance versus changing an industry or working towards a long-term international strategy. So different things to touch on. And as I said, you'll get a decision matrix template. So we'll also have a reflection timeout where you can start working on your own individual decision matrix. And then we hop straight into part 2, which is about researching your designated local job market, which again, once you just start thinking about it, you might feel overwhelmed already. And in the webinar, I show you a feasible approach, how to start that research. And we're going to start from a more general scope towards a more individual and detailed analysis of the job market you are going to go to. And I will show you this approach based on the Berlin job market. However, there will be a lot of transferable information which you could actually apply to any location. Yes, and I will show you, for example, what resources are out there, how to use them, how to channel information specifically for you, and later break it down to be more specific. So this could be, we are touching governmental information, governmental resources, how to get, for example, specific market information, and also how can you, then break it down further, and I give you best practices example for you individually. And again, there we have another reflection timeout where we will reflect on where are you at right now in that process, and where, for example, still hidden spots, topics or thoughts you hadn't considered yet and should do. So you have also something to work on after the webinar. And last but not least, we are going to start you and the job market going into a dialogue. Let's say, okay, how could you already like verify where's your positioning in the job market? What is still missing? And again, from there, we have a reflection time out short to start understanding where are you at actually individually right now, and what should or could follow afterwards to give you a clear kickstart for your own individual action plan. So it's a 90 minutes webinar, and you can already see we are going to touch quite a few topics, but I promise you, and I'm actually already super excited because it's going to be very insightful and impactful. It's on the 24th of March. And also in the next week, I'm gonna submit more text and also a video on the Cultures Academy website, so you can come and revisit. And please also connect with me on LinkedIn. I update my contact there. And last but not least, the material we will be working with, I'll provide for you before the webinar. And I'm happy to welcome you, and looking forward to the 24th. Thank you.
Fantastic, thank you. So now to add, this is a fantastic, exciting content. I think I'm gonna sign in for your course. And to add a challenge to this even more, I have to tell that in our days, we have to do it all digitally. Even if you haven't identified what you want and who do you want to apply, like what position do you want to apply for, you have to do it digitally. And I'm looking at Lavinia and asking Lavinia, digital presenting skills, can you get us fit in being able to do an interview online, in being, how is it to look good in digital meetings?
Thank you so much, Natalia, for inviting me up. And I'm so excited. I wish when I had first moved back to Berlin, someone like Nadja had been around to guide me through the job market. It would have been so much easier than trying to work it out on my own. So I'm so excited that Nadja will be doing this. But of course, even if you find yourself an interview, most likely you'll have to do it like this. You'll have to turn on your camera, and then you're going to have to present yourself like this. And most of us are totally not prepared for this. I'm going to tell you, when this started 2 years ago, I had no idea what I was doing either. But I'm a professional speaker. I had started my business towards the end of 2019. And I had a nice little business going. I had all these fantastic gigs all booked for myself. And of course, then Corona arrived. Corona arrived and canceled every single booking of my fledgling little business. So what was I to do? I had to work out a different model. How was I going to speak to people in a whole different way? And then, of course, this whole thing, this way of presenting on Zoom, trying to talk to people in a whole different way and connect with people differently. So I realized that I had to learn a new set of skills. And so I started learning them. As I was learning, I realized how few people have these skills. And it is a skill. No one is born learning to speak to a camera. None of us has worked out how this works and how to connect with people. But over the last 2 years, I've worked out a couple of things that work. And I thought with this season, now last season, what I taught was this: LinkedIn. LinkedIn is my online home. I am a LinkedIn top voice, and I helped lots of people work out how they could be present on LinkedIn. But this time, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about being digital, and that's how you can present like this. How you can set yourself up. As you can see, I'm not using a virtual background. This is a tiny little corner of my tiny little study. And I'm going to show you how you can set something like this up with almost no effort. This, of course, is very deliberate, but I can show you what, if you're not in your office, how you can set yourself up to make it work. You can see here, I have a mic, because the one thing I've learned, listening to all kinds of people in this business, sound is king. The most important thing is not the way I look. That's not what you're paying attention to. what you're paying attention to is the way I sound. And the way I sound is ultimately controlled by the way the computer is going to process my voice. And so how do you select a mic? Do you have to spend hundreds of euros? You certainly don't. You can have very simple things that can solve your sound problems. The second thing you're looking at is you don't want the person to be shrouded like a ghost. You want to be able to see the person's face. And so I have here, what you're looking at is 3 different sources of light. The one source of light that I don't have on, that I bet all of you have on, is the overhead light. It is the kiss of death. And I'm going to teach you how to turn that thing off and make all of this work, even if all you have is a mobile phone to light you. So what we're going to do in my course is over 90 minutes, I'm going to show you behind the scenes. I'm going to show you what it looks like for me as I'm presenting and how you can create this for yourself too. You know, the number one thing, I'm going to give you one tip to walk away with. And I see almost everyone is doing this. And I'm going to teach you this simple little trick. Do you know what the big difference is right now? It's partly my mic, partly my camera. But the big difference is I'm looking right at you. You can see my face as if I was there looking right at you. And most of you have your camera down here. So everyone is looking up this way, up your nose. Absolutely not the way to set it up. So what you want to make sure, the number one tip, if you walk away, even if you don't do my course, what I want you to do is lift up your camera. Lift with anything you have. Once I even used a knife block to lift my camera up. Whatever you have, put books, anything. Lift your camera up so that you're looking at it and that you can go with that. So thank you all very much for listening. And I hope you've taken away that little tip. Lift your camera up and
Fantastic.
all will be improved.
Fantastic. Thank you for opening already, precious space of tips. It's Lavinia, always a pleasure to listen to. Let us jump to another topic, which is basic tools, how to create company's marketing strategy. If you want to market your company, if you want to market your idea, if you want to market yourself, this is Pilar who gonna take us on this journey. Pilar will be offering her course. Pilar, give us a few key points, what you will be covering there. And then I maybe, if you permit, will share your personal website to see what your background is. But let's start maybe with the points of content of your course.
Okay, thank you, Natalia. Hello, everybody. I'm very happy to be here with you. I am Pilar. I am Chilean. Small presentation. I study business administration and I have a master in international trade. I am an entrepreneur at heart. I am co-founder of the company Maxi Crece. Maxi Crece is a company I founded in 2010 together with 2 partners in Chile. And this company sells German products, German baby products in Chile. We create and manage this company for 8 years in 3 different countries. And in that time, I learned a lot about digital marketing, business administration, imports, purchasing, dealing with international suppliers, and much more. In 2010, we sold the company for internal reason. But what you are looking now is the company is almost the same. These are the same products, the same logo, the same concept, but now with new owners. There is a German couple. They live in Chile and taking care of my baby. I learned a lot with my company. Now I would like to share with other maps and expats all that I've learned during this time. I feel I have enough knowledge to help bring ideas and projects to life. In my webinar, which I call the Art of Reinventing Yourselves, I will teach you the basic tools to create a company, to create internet presence. And if you already have a presence in internet, I will teach you how to optimize your present and to improve and get more out of them. So in the webinar, there will be we will cover 5 points. The first one is bring the idea down to earth and define objectives. Sometimes we have super great ideas, but very high, and then we put them on the earth. Second point will be create a business plan. We will include the most important point like description of product, target group, place where we want to offer, how to set a price, budget, etc. Second point will be how to create your branding, brand image, how to create a logo, how to choose your color palette, how to define your keywords. So, 4 point will be create your online presence. We will look all the products, well, not all, but the most important platforms, Wix, Squarespace. We will look see what the blog is, the most important elements, how you can sell a product in this workshop. And the last point will be internet positioning. So if you already have a web shop or a blog or an internet site, how to improve it. And we will take some, for example, Google Analytics, Google My Business, how to create your own campaigns in Google, how to work with the keywords and all these topics, which I think now are very useful in that term.
The whole new dimension, to take your professional development to. Thank you for this, Pilar. Pilar will be offering her first course in Spanish. Yes. And of course, it can be done in English as well. And here we are actually open to conversation requests. Just send an email that we have posted in the chat if you are interested in an English course on this topic, how to create your company's marketing strategy. And now let's jump into the neighbor universe of cryptocurrency, blockchain, and NFT. Yianis, you told you do want to raise awareness with your course about all these subjects, and you will give the 360-degree overview about these things so that we are not only aware but can make informed decisions how it all works and what is it about. Where do you want to take us in this journey in your course?
So, thank you very much, Natalia, and it's a really pleasure for me to participate in this program. So, as Arthur Clarke famously has said, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. And I'm sure that for a lot of you, all this cryptocurrency, NFT, blockchain space sounds like something between black magic and something like completely incomprehensible on how it works. So my goal for this course is to give you an overview of the background behind these technologies, because it turns out they are not really that new. They go back to the 1970s and 80s of the previous century, and give you the historic context behind that. What was the initial purpose, how they evolved, what was this blockchain thing that was invented along the way, although it wasn't an ultimate goal of this whole ecosystem, and essentially how they work in a non-technical way so that you understand the mechanics behind it, and can also explain in very simple terms how the whole system is operating. The ultimate goal is to give you a way for yourself to understand if it is something you want to look into more detail, or if it's something that you decide to not worry about. Unfortunately, I don't have any financial advice for you on how to use this, and it's not my purpose to do that, but more of to allow you to make intelligent and informed conversations about this topic, because it has both positive and negative effects. Obviously, a lot of you have heard about the disruption it has brought in the financial industry, but at the same time, there is a very active discussion on the environmental impacts of these technologies. So in the course of the 60 to 90 minutes duration of the course on the 14th of April, right before Easter. My goal is to give you an overview of that, and of course make it a discussion with you as well, and you can bring any topics you would like to talk, either before the call, before the meeting, or during the meeting, so we can have a better understanding of this ecosystem.
Yianis, you said you will be not too technical, but you will be accurate. What are the prerequisites for participating in your course? Any previous knowledge?
Natalia, we have to move on. Sorry, we are pretty late. I think maybe we can share these details
Yes, we can do it offline, but
through our channels.
One word is that no
Yeah.
previous knowledge is required. So just an open mind and the willingness to hear about it. So looking forward to see you all.
Fantastic. And as you all, thank you very much to giving us insight. This is really precious, and looking forward to join all of your courses. And with this, I release you from the panel.